So you're ready then? We're good?
Just a minute, I'm looking if to Edith is live already. I don't think she's live yet.
It's not alive.
She's alive, but not live.
It's not alive.
Yeah.
Alive. Okay, well.
No, there's live. And Edith also.
Angel,
Mhm.
so do you see who's all live on Facebook?
Only my friends.
Only if your friends.
Yeah, if not, I see the number of people.
Okay, because
Mm.
that's what I see too, just the number of people.
Yeah,
It's kind of a major fly, because Facebook definitely knows who everybody is.
Yeah,
yeah, but at the same time, you're saying that your friends.
Yeah, but you as the like broadcast.
Yeah.
And that, maybe. Maybe you can see it in the,
Are we,
yeah, everybody's
There we
live.
okay, all right, oh, wanna go, you hit the joke, so we don't see us, nearly. Can see down you just go energy on Dutch going to start, and not that running. That in what I'll do, but don't go I guess so. Yet he saw to us a tongue of Garako, don't yet in the stars, he wants Zagi, don't go scut and ganungwe. I didn't know what I'll do, so here, and to go down heads to that goes, don't I'll go eat Zinigan after the Gerdo. Guego Onokosoma. So, very short opening tonight because we are still within the law recital, which means that we're still open officially, right from the start to the end. So now I believe we're in the 19th day today. Is that what today was? Or
Yeah.
19 days. And it looks like we're almost finished. I won't bet on this and I won't say either way, and I'll probably regret saying this, but it looks like we're probably going to be done this weekend. Yeah, we're right at the end of it now, and everything after this point, each excuse me, each Onagordo is kind of a repetitive when we're getting into the death rites, and that it's all repetitive for each person, each level of growth within our evolution, from child to baby, child, young adult, and then to the chiefs and clan mother. So it's all pretty much repetitive as to what the Onagordas are, but a special application for each one. So it's going to be pretty smooth sailing anyways from here. So anyways, because of this great law recital, we don't do an opening like what we usually do because we're open. But just to inform everybody as to what is the little opening that we did do, is we always begin by giving our thanks to the great spiral of creation, that when you look up into the nighttime sky, you're not looking at cold, dark, empty, lifeless space the way that non-native science leads you to believe. No. Instead, you are looking into the living, vibrant body of our great mother, of Sky Woman herself. And so we give our thanks to the great spiral of creation, to Sky Woman, as it is she who has given us spirit. From there, we give our thanks to our grandmother moon, the beating heart of our mother earth. It's she who regulates the flow of the lifeblood in all things, not just the tides, as you know, she regulates the great waters of the oceans, but if she moves a whole body of water, such as the ocean, imagine what she does to the water in your brain, the blood in your body, the water that's in every cell in your body. If she moves oceans, you know that she's moving you every day, continuously. And I'll come back to expand on that. But we give thanks to our grandmother moon, as it is she who has given us blood. From there, we give our thanks to our mother earth, regardless of, regardless of where you have grown up from her, regardless of what color you are, what language you speak, or what you imagine divides us. We all come from the same mother, making us all one family, all sisters, brothers, all together, one great extended family. From across the great waters here to everywhere on earth, everywhere there is life, we are one family. Humans develop as one strain of life, regardless of the different colors, the different languages, the differences in thought, but we are all one family. And so we give thanks to our mother earth, as it is she who has given us body, all of us body, nothing for us to dispute over or to fight over. Our mother has given us all everything equal. There is nothing that anyone on earth is wanting for. The only time that there is wanting for is when greed rises up and oppresses others and taxes you. Tells you that you got to pay your taxes to that woman, that dead woman now. Tells you that you got to pay your taxes to the mafia, that you got to fund the mafia, the Fed. Tells you that you got to pay things for you to live. No, this is not life. This is not the way it is. The way it things are naturally in this world. And so we give our thanks okay, there's something here, something that's I'm thinking about of what we were talking about today, yesterday, about what's happened with the turtles, what I'm factoring in here. Okay, I'm just going to get through this opening really fast and get to some of the things that we got to discuss, so we can get our minds focused on these things that are happening right now. Okay, so anyways, we gave our thanks to from there to all the women, from the newest born baby girl to the eldest grandmother, as they carry the sacred title of life giver into the world. And this is the life givers in all strains of life, not just humans. This is what we think of when we're talking. So we're talking about ourselves. But when we're talking about all strains of life, when we're talking about everything is sisters and brothers, part of this great family, then we are not talking about just humans. When we say the mothers of all strains of life, then we're talking about the mothers of butterflies, the mothers of worms, caterpillars, all the little things that we never think of, all the big things that we do never think of either. But the mothers in all strains of life, we give thanks for, as it is they that are the perpetuators, that it is they that give us our life, that are presenting us constantly with our evolution, challenging us with our evolution. With each generation that comes into being, we are challenged, and our mothers put us in this position of challenging our human capacities to see if we can rise to being human, if we can rise to adjust to whatever the circumstances or conditions might be that are thrown our way, say, such as, for instance, in times of cold, when we're going into ice ages. Well, we could imagine, we haven't been there ourselves in our own memory, but we could imagine that, well, we'll probably develop more hair on our bodies. Maybe even we'll develop fur at a certain point of us being exposed generation after generation to colder temperatures. As the way that we are now is because of we have been exposed generation after generation out of the different levels of the different realms of existence that we've come through. The first realm, we know that we've come from water, come through water. We know that science identifies, well, we crawled out of water and came onto land. So we can just deduce very easily that at one time, our beings, what we were, was scaly, as we're in the water. And then as we climbed out of the water, reptilian, still kind of scaly, but reptilian, until, we developed either fur or feathers, and more refined from there to just hairy bodies, and then to bodies with just skin. So we know that each stage of this is our evolution that we're presented with. And as the conditions got better upon our Mother Earth, these conditions that we're presented with, we adjusted to it. So we no longer have scales. We don't have reptilian skin. We have this now. So over the different epochs or epoch, however you won't say it, epochs in time, our evolution, not just as humans, but evolution on Mother Earth. At these different epochs in time, that how we are presented with the challenges. Of course, it's through our mothers. Our mothers are flung into the colder weather or the hotter weather or whatever. And it's our mothers that in giving birth to us, teach us how to live within that. So we're never conscious of an evolution, because it's not happening to one person in one generation. The only evolution that one person in one generation experiences is the evolution of their own intellectual capacities to come to realize what their true power is in the world. And so these different epochs in time of our evolution is we're confronted with one right now. We're in one right now. Some people might not see this. Some people will argue against it. It really doesn't matter. If somebody argued against it, let's say nobody can prove it, but we say, or maybe we think or we feel that something's changing. Everyone on earth can feel that there's something, whether it's man-made wars or something. Everyone on earth is anxious about something. Something's happening or gonna happen that's gonna change our existence. We know it. Every time there's war, every time the white man goes crazy and spreads his war around the world, it lessens the vibrancy of life worldwide. So we are in an epoch in change once again. And in this epoch in change, there's a lot of different things that are happening on the ground in different places, that if we are not keeping ourselves up to speed about what's happening in that place or this place, then what we are experiencing is just our own experience. And our own experience, we can't really really figure it out unless we have something else to compare it to. This is the reason why, like we talked about today, the 3 experiments have to be 3. You look at the person next to you, see what their experience is over there, and then yours, and you can determine parameters and a mean, what is like directly in between, what's the average experience. And so tonight, I believe we have somebody right now that's with us from Innu territory that is going to share with us about this experience that we are all having one way or another. I don't know too much, but just to lead into this, that the Innu are, again, just like I forget when it was, maybe about 10 years ago, they were blocking the road. It was then at the time Plan Nord, the Northern Plan of Development, that they were fighting against. And now they're fighting against, it's still Plan Nord. It's just that after a couple of years, when the first time the people said no, well, the sellout ban system came back and presented the same question again to them 3 times, and the people said no. But the sellout ban system doesn't work for the people. Doesn't matter if you get the best person out of the people. The sellout elective system works for that dead woman now, and so they all continue the ban system continues to push the very thing that the people first said no to. And so anyways, I might be a little bit wrong on this, and if I am, well, then we ask our friend that's here to straighten me out or to give us the lowdown on everything. So I don't know how this is gonna work because how's the
Yeah,
translation?
he doesn't understand English, il comprend pas l'anglais. I don't know if you want me to translate you while he's there, because I will translate him to you.
Yeah, well, Mary Cole is translating in French, right?
Yeah.
So does he hear that?
No,
He doesn't hear that? How?
he's on this Zoom.
Okay, well then, yeah, you gotta translate for him.
Okay.
Well
Donc,
then, wait a minute. Well, how come Mary Cole's not in here then?
she's on her Zoom sharing this Zoom.
Yeah, but why wouldn't she be here translating if she? Okay, let's just go. All right, sorry about this. I don't know who the person is. I can't see the image. I can't make out the name. So if just ask him to introduce himself.
Mhm.
First off, tell him, say welcome. This is our normal Wednesday Zoom, but tonight is a special Zoom because it's within our Great Law Recital.
Donc, bonjour Yann, c'est le Zoom régulier du mercredi. Aujourd'hui, on est dans le récit de la Grande Voie de la Paix, donc tu peux te présenter, je vais traduire en anglais.
Okay, first off, can you
Est-ce que tu m'entends bien, Yann?
Non, je n'ai pas entendu, ça a bugué.
Ah, il said that it bugged. Là, tu m'entends bien?
Oui,
OK, donc Stuart, il explique qu'on est dans le Zoom du mercredi qu'on fait normalement et qu'on est dans le récit de la Grande Voie de la Paix et il demande de te présenter, dans le fond.
OK. Moi, je m'appelle Yann Dominique. Je suis résident de Shefferville, Matchmekouche, Lac-John.
He's Yann Dominic and he's residing in Shefferville.
Okay, I don't know if you heard the translation then, what I just said, that the basic rundown from what I know, and this is where we'll need your input.
Donc, je ne sais pas si tu as compris ce que j'ai dit quand, dans le fond, j'expliquais un peu la problématique.
Was that this stems from basically the first time that I remember when the Innu blocked the road about 10 years ago, is about the Plan North.
Est-ce que, tu sais, c'est dans le fond la suite un peu du plan Nord quand vous avez bloqué les routes, les Inuits avaient bloqué les routes?
Now, I know that at the time, the ban system brought it to the proposal to the people and the people said no. 3 times the ban system brought it back to them, even though the people said no.
Et je me rappelle qu'à l'époque, le système de bande avait apporté une proposition 3 fois en ligne aux gens, au peuple et il avait dit 3 fois non. Les gens avaient dit 3 fois non.
And I know, just like the ban system here, they don't work for the people, they work for that dead woman.
Et je le sais, comme le système de bande ici, que les gens, le système de bande là-bas travaille aussi pour cette femme qui vient de mourir.
So this means that they keep pushing what the people said no to.
Donc, ça veut dire qu'ils continuent de pousser ce que les gens ont dit non à.
I know, like here, they make dirty, underhanded deals behind the backs of the people.
Je sais qu'ici, dirty what, sorry?
Dirty, underhanded deals.
Ils font dans le fond, des enveloppes brunes en dessous de la table.
And so this means that there's things that they're doing that the people don't know about, that all of a sudden, maybe a year later, the people will discover that there's some policy already in place.
Et dans le fond, ils font des choses que les gens ne sont pas au courant, puis mettons 1 an après, là, ils se rendent compte que, il y a des politiques qui ont été mises en place.
Okay, so for myself, when that blockade happened, I personally went to, is that not Tishquan at Setil? Oh, no, we went Maliutina.
Et personnellement, quand il y avait eu le blocus à l'époque, moi, j'étais allée à Maliotenam, proche de cette île.
And we heard from the people there on the ground.
Et on a entendu des gens là-bas.
The way that I just related it.
La façon dont je viens de relayer l'information.
So the way that I see it now, this is where you got to correct me if I'm wrong, is that this is still the effects of that Plan North playing out upon the people.
Et la façon dont je le vois, c'est de me corriger si je dis la bonne chose, mais c'est que justement, c'est la continuité du plan Nord.
Anyways, if you can fill us in, all the details, everything, what's going on, yeah, we'll go for that, to Ms. Kamatan.
Donc, si tu peux juste donner plus de détails de ce qui se passe présentement.
OK. Merci pour l'invitation.
Thank
Oui,
you for
c'est dû au plan Nord.
Yes,
Plan
it's
Nord.
Landlord.
Okay, wait, tell him to hang on a minute. Wait, tell him, hang on.
Ça sera pas long, on va mettre du son ailleurs.
Oh, we're gonna
Okay.
try something here to assist the translation. We're gonna put me on mute so that he can't hear you translating to me.
He's hearing me because I'm on with your camera, the microphone is there, so
That's what I'm saying. If I put me on mute, I put my screen on mute.
But I will have to unmute mine and then you will have to mute your sound also. He hears me, il m'entend. Tu m'entends, Yann?
Oui, je vous entends très bien.
He hears me well.
I don't, you're not catching what I'm saying.
Là, j'entends pas.
OK, vas-y, Yann.
OK. Comme je disais, oui, c'est pour le plan Nord. Les autres ont fait la barricade à cause que il y a la mine ne respecte pas ce qu'il nous a dit de respecter. Comme plus on met premier des choses, c'est la nature.
Okay, so they do the blockade because the mine company, they don't respect what they are supposed to respect. And the first thing is nature.
Il y a beaucoup d'infractions qu'il fait. Il ne respecte pas. En 2018, on a fait la barricade. Puis il nous a dit d'enlever la barricade, puis aller faire une résolution. Ce qu'on a fait, on a enlevé la barricade, mais il n'y a jamais eu de résolution. Puis il continue encore ses infractions.
Okay, they do a lot of infraction, and he said that in 2018 they did a blockade again, and the company said that they will do resolution to correct this, and they did nothing. They just continued to violate the infraction.
The agreements that they're violating, is these agreements stemming out of the Plan North?
Est-ce que ces accords-là proviennent, dans le fond, du plan Nord, les accords que tu dis qu'ils voulaient faire?
Que les accords, tu parles, c'est quels accords tu parles?
What agreement do you think you talk about?
Okay, well, the Plan North, whatever their, I can't remember now all the details, but whenever that Plan North was presented or pushed through, that there was agreements that the Innu had to make the band system in order to have that passage, in order to comply. I don't know what the agreements were because these were things that were never shown. But then I'll ask you, what agreements are you talking about that are being broken?
OK, donc il parle, lui, dans le plan Nord, les ententes qui étaient supposément passées avec le conseil de bande pour justement permettre le passage. Mais il demande aussi là, de toi, de quelle résolution de bord tu parles?
OK, une résolution qui allait respecter ce qu'il n'a pas respecté. Enlever la barricade, mais nous allons signer que comme il y a des enfouissements, leurs déchets, ils se promènent avec leurs autos en ville, toutes sales. Il y en a beaucoup. On a 27 points qu'on a mis en place, puis on a demandé à Tata Style, la mine qui est là, de vérifier si tout ça était en règle.
Donc, he's saying that there was a resolution with 27 points on it that they were supposed to respect, but they don't respect it.
Okay, that resolution, did that come from, this is coming from the Innu? Or where is this resolution coming from?
La résolution, est-ce qu'elle vient des Inuits? Elle vient de où exactement?
Oui, on a demandé une résolution, mais on n'a jamais eu de la réponse. Et il nous a dit enlever la barricade, puis on va signer la résolution, mais il n'y a jamais eu de résolution depuis 2018. Là.
Okay, he says that they asked to remove the blockade, that they would sign the resolution, but they never signed it.
Okay, so you removed the blockade, expecting them to sign it. It's never signed. So the resolution that the Innu said at that time, that's the resolution you're referring to. This is from 2018.
Donc, si j'ai bien compris, ils devaient signer une résolution, vous avez enlevé la barrière, ils ne l'ont pas signée. Et là, dans le fond, cette résolution-là, vous parlez, ça provient de 2018, la même chose, dans le fond.
Oui,
Okay.
C'est comme, il rit de nous autres.
He says they're laughing at us.
Okay, all right. So who made that resolution? Was it the people or was it the band system?
Qui a fait cette résolution-là? Est-ce que c'est le peuple ou c'est le système de bande?
C'est le peuple. Le peuple. Lui, le système de bande, comme tu dis, il est toujours avec la mine.
He's saying that it's the people that did the agreement. It's because the band system, they're all with the mines.
Yeah. This is something that we both understand is that the band system, they're an entity to sell out our people.
Et dans le fond, c'est ce qu'on dit tout le temps, c'est que le système de bande, c'est comme une entité pour vendre les gens. Les gens se vendent à ça.
So I'll say to you
Donc, je vais te dire
that in 2018,
qu'en 2018,
at that blockade,
à ce blocus,
that whatever the people said
peu importe ce que les gens ont dit,
agreed in pulling down the blockade, thinking the other side was going to sign.
et dans le fond, d'enlever le blocus et de penser que l'autre côté allait signer.
I'll say that you don't know that your band system made a deal with them, undermining what you were saying.
Je te dirais que le système de bande a signé quelque chose avec eux qui, dans le fond, défait ce que vous aviez fait, ce que vous vouliez faire.
Because anyone coming in to exploit the territories under the Plan North have to go through all the provincial laws, permits, and stuff like that, which means they have to work with the elected band system.
Parce que tout ce qui concernait le plan Nord, dans le fond, ils devaient faire des ententes avec les gens en place, les gens sur place. Donc, forcément, ils faisaient des ententes avec le système de base.
So the company, the corporation, sees that you're blocking their pathway into exploiting.
Donc, la compagnie minière, elle, ce qu'elle voit, c'est que bloquer la voie vers l'exploitation des ressources.
But according to the self-government agreement, which has been in place for 30 years now,
Et suivant, dans le fond, l'accord d'autogouvernance qui est là depuis, qui a été signé depuis un bout,
is that the band system presents themselves as the representation of our people.
donc, ça fait en sorte que le système de bande se présente comme étant une organisation qui représente le peuple.
Of course, it's not true.
Sauf que c'est pas vrai.
We know that in every community, the band system is the white people.
Et on sait, dans le fond, que dans toutes les communautés, le système de bande, c'est des Blancs.
And so what that company did when they seen you standing on the road is they didn't talk to you. They went and they talked through the policing channels that puts them through the band system into the reserve cops and into the SQ there, which they then have to are charged with enforcing the law of removing you if you block the road again.
Donc, ce qui est vraiment arrivé, c'est qu'ils ne vont pas vraiment parler à vous. Ils sont allés vers le système de bande avec toutes les politiques en place pour vous faire enlever de là et, dans le fond, renforcer, que la police renforce aussi pour vous faire enlever de là si jamais vous recommencez.
So this means in 2018, the band system made a dirty deal behind your back. The band system there, the band system in your community, throughout all the Innu communities, made a dirty, underhanded deal that stabbed you in the back. You just don't know about it.
Ce que ça veut dire, c'est qu'en 2018, le système de vente a fait une entente en dessous de la table avec la compagnie que vous n'êtes pas au courant pour vous poignarder dans le dos carrément.
Because in order for the way that you're saying, the way that it happened, you would have to have been convinced that the company or whoever is going to sign once you remove the blockades.
Parce que pour que ça arrive de la façon dont tu l'expliques, il aurait fallu que vous soyez vraiment convaincu qu'il allait signer pour que vous enleviez votre barrière.
Which means they would have had to have been convincing to you, which means they were outright lying to you at the time just to get you off the road.
Donc, il aurait fallu qu'il soit très convaincant pour que vous enleviez la barrière. Donc, il devait vous mentir en pleine face pour que vous enleviez la barrière.
But now we're in a different time.
Mais maintenant, on est dans un temps différent.
The tables have turned against them.
La table s'est retournée contre eux.
When that devil they called the Pope came here and said genocide,
Quand le pape, le démon qu'on appelle le pape, est venu ici prononcer le mot génocide,
this changes everything about how their genocide is being applied to us.
ça a changé tout à propos de comment le génocide est appliqué à nous.
So this dirty underhanded deal that the ban system made, their cops got to enforce it. This thing right now is broken. Their deal that they made with the ban system is broken. You, the people, are now the people in power there.
Donc, ce qui explique, c'est que l'entente qu'ils ont faite à l'époque avec le système de bande est brisée et que la police qui doit tout enforcer ça, toute cette entente-là est brisée, ça veut dire que le pouvoir est dans vos mains.
So I don't know at what stage that this is at,
Je ne sais pas à quel stade vous êtes là-dedans,
but no matter what, do not listen to what any sellout ban system person says.
et peu importe vous êtes où dans tout ça, écoutez pas du tout ce que n'importe quel vendu du système de bande peut vous dire.
Of course, you know this. You must think solely within Innu identity.
Et tu dois déjà le savoir, mais tu dois penser uniquement à travers l'identité Innu.
Not to think from what these white people in the band system are telling you, even though it might be your cousin. Those are white people.
Pas de penser en rapport avec ce que les gens du système de bande des Blancs pensent, même si c'est votre cousin, exemple.
And the company or whoever on the other side is going to be very threatening.
Et la compagnie, ou peu importe qui est de l'autre côté, vont être vraiment menaçants.
Do not listen to any of it.
Écoutez rien de tout ça.
They're going to threaten you with court injunctions. They're going to threaten you to get lawyers. Do not listen to any of it.
Ils vont vous menacer avec des injonctions de la cour. Ils vont vous dire de prendre des avocats. Écoutez rien de ça.
I know that you must already be solely standing upon the land under Innu authority.
Mais je sais que vous devez déjà de toute façon vous tenir pour votre territoire, dans le fond, sous votre autorité Innu.
Everybody else has to support what you are doing. We got to support what you are doing.
Tout le monde doit supporter ce que vous faites. Nous devons supporter ce que vous faites.
There is only one problem for us to do that right now is we are still right in the middle of our great law recital, meaning we can't do anything until this is over.
Et la seule chose pour nous qui est difficile, c'est qu'on est encore dans notre récit de la grande loi de la paix présentement, puis on ne peut pas rien faire tant que c'est pas terminé.
So right now, the most that we could do right now is limited to this, which is getting it out there, sharing it with other people.
La seule chose qu'on peut faire pour le moment, c'est faire ce qu'on fait là, c'est de le présenter aux gens et de le publier autant que possible.
And then in about a week and a half, whenever we're done this,
Et à peu près d'ici une semaine et demie, quand on va avoir fini environ,
then we could sit and have a more in-depth talk about the plan, what we do to support you.
et là, on va pouvoir s'asseoir, avoir une conversation un petit peu plus en profondeur à propos de ce qui peut être fait là, avec tout ça.
So until we're finished this thing, our support of you is to say solely to stay within Innu identity, not to give in to any sellouts within the ban system, not to give in to the genocidal the genocidal policies of the province or of Canada.
Et tout ce que je peux vous dire en attendant, c'est justement ne flanchez pas avec ces vendus du système de bande, flanchez devant rien dans le fond et restez dans votre identité.
We got to fortify, all of us. We got to fortify within Innu identity, within Ganyangahaga identity. We got to fortify ourselves and push out all of the poisons that the white man put there to destroy us. Band systems. Those are our people? No, they are not our people any longer. They kiss the ass of the white man.
On doit se fortifier entre nous, les Inuits, on doit se fortifier, les Ganyangaha, les Ganyangahaga, on doit se fortifier et on doit surtout pas flancher avec le système de bande et qui liche le cul des gouvernements.
This is becoming known. Our people are starting to awaken.
Ça commence à être connu, les gens se réveillent.
From north to south, our people are standing in the same fight right across Turtle Island, right into as far south as you can go to so-called South America.
Du nord au sud, les gens se tiennent pour les mêmes raisons et dans le fond, à travers toute l'île de la Tortue, la même histoire se répète.
Soon as we're done our law recital, every second Sunday, I think this coming Sunday, next week, we have what's identified as a reconstitution of the Eagle and the Condor Zoom, which is a discussion between the native peoples throughout from north to south. And so this would be the time for us to bring this story forward so that people in the south are seeing the same fight of the people in the north.
Et dans le fond, les 2 dimanches par lune, on a ce qu'on appelle la reconstitution avec les peuples originaires de l'île de la Tortue. Et pas dimanche qui vient l'autre, je crois, il y en aurait une où on pourrait justement présenter cette histoire-là afin que toutes les gens, les différentes personnes des groupes du Sud aussi connaissent que vous vous battez pour les mêmes choses que.
So we'd like to see, or we'll have this connection anyways. We'll contact you during the week when it's getting closer to see if you're available, if you can be there. It's fully translated from Spanish to English to French. We can spread this story from north to south.
Donc, aussitôt qu'on va avoir fini là, dans le courant de la semaine, là, on va se contacter pour pouvoir justement confirmer tout ça. Et c'est traduit dans le fond en espagnol, mais aussi ça va être traduit en français là, pour qu'on puisse transmettre l'information au plus grand nombre de monde.
Okay, so anything that you any details that you want to tell us, anything happening out of the ordinary that you see behind the lines where you're at?
Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose que tu voudrais rajouter, que tu vois qui pourrait aider dans tout ça?
Non, moi, je voulais remercier, puis quand je vais avoir fini tout ça, je vais aller porter la bonne nouvelle aux barricades.
He says that thank you for everything, and he will bring the great news that you give him to the blockade.
Okay, is there right now, is there anything that you compile, put anything on paper to say like, this is our demands or something?
Est-ce qu'à date, il y a quelque chose que vous avez compilé, genre un papier, un document qui expliquerait ce que vous êtes en train de faire?
Non, mais on a mis au point c'est quoi qu'on voulait. Puis il nous a répondu de manière, comment dire ça, express. Là. Il nous a répondu, mettons, j'ai donné ça avant-hier, il m'a répondu aujourd'hui. Puis il veut que j'enlève la barricade. Il me supplie, enlève la barricade. Il y a des gens qui veulent travailler, mais où les gens travaillent, il y a des Blancs qui travaillent, puis des Indiens sont peut-être 10%.
He's explaining that they made their request, and then they two days ago, and then they answered really quickly, expressly to ask just to remove the barricades because there's people that want to work, blah blah blah, and then the native people that work there are only representing 10%.
Okay, excuse me, is there a press release, something that the statement that you made?
Est-ce que y a genre une conférence de presse ou un document de presse qui a été fait en rapport avec ça?
Non, pas pour l'instant, mais la mine, il a rencontré notre conseil de bande.
He says that no, not for the moment, but he says that the mines, they met the band system.
What?
Band system.
Ah, okay. You see, this tells you that you, the people on the ground, are the people in power.
Et ça, ce que ça vous dit, dans le fond, c'est ce que tu viens de dire là, par rapport au meeting avec le conseil de bande, c'est que ce que ça prouve, c'est que vous êtes en pouvoir, le peuple.
The only reason why they would meet with the band system is to ask the band system to remove you.
La seule raison pour laquelle il rencontrerait le conseil de bande, ce serait pour demander au conseil de bande de vous demander de vous enlever de là.
And we all know the band system is complying with that.
Et on sait tous que le conseil de bande se complaît là-dedans, le fait.
So what they want to avoid is they don't want to show a bunch of police going there to removing you physically. They don't want the public to see that, not at this stage of the game.
Et à ce stade du jeu, dans le fond, ils veulent surtout pas que la police s'en mêle pour montrer que la police doit être obligée de s'en mêler pour venir enlever tout ça. Ils veulent que ça se passe comme tranquille.
So no matter what, your goal is to have as many people there on the ground at the barricade as possible all the time. Maybe a rotation of people. I guess you're already thinking about this, but to have as many people there all the time, and of course, to have their cameras ready.
Et ce que je vous dis là-dedans, c'est d'essayer d'avoir le plus de monde possible qui sont sur place, d'avoir une rotation de gens, qu'il y a toujours quelqu'un là avec des caméras prêtes en tout temps. Vous le savez probablement déjà, mais c'est ce que je conseille.
And this is what you have to do, watching the people who are coming in.
Et c'est ce que vous devrez faire aussi, c'est de surveiller les gens qui arrivent, là, les gens qui se mêlent à vous.
You're gonna have espionage coming in from the band system,
Tu vas avoir des espions qui vont venir du système de vente.
which means it's gonna be one of the people that you know.
Et ça veut dire que ça va être probablement quelqu'un que tu connais.
You know, if they
Ouais,
send in a
c'est-
white lawyer, you're not gonna listen to them.
Parce que s'il envoie, exemple, un avocat blanc, tu ne vas pas les écouter.
So
Non, mais il
that-
a envoyé un conseiller qui était élu de notre bord. Il y avait un conseiller élu de notre bord. Et quand il est venu nous voir, il ne parlait pas beaucoup. Il voulait juste voir c'est quoi qu'on était en train de mettre sur la table.
He said that they sent someone that was supposedly on their side, but he only wanted to know what they were about to do.
Mhm. Well, this is the thing. You gotta know, you gotta put your foot down to not allow in anyone from the band system.
Et dans le fond, il va falloir que tu mettes ton pied à terre pour ne pas permettre à aucune personne du système de bande d'entrer.
We all have to comprehend the fact right now
On doit tous comprendre le fait maintenant
that the band system just lost its grip upon the people.
que le système de bande vient de perdre sa pogne sur les gens.
And their puppet masters, the ones pulling their strings, are aware. And they know that right now they have to scare you. They have to scare the people to try to get back on the leash that they broke out of.
Et le marionnettiste qui les contrôle le sait, donc il essaie de vous faire peur pour que vous comme retourniez sous
So-
la gouverne.
This is a time for all of us right across the country to get our power back that the sellouts within the band system have been stealing from us, selling to the white man.
Et c'est le temps que tous les peuples originaires à grandeur du pays reprennent leur pouvoir et justement face au conseil de bande que le pouvoir est dans le même spot.
This is our time now. It is time for Innu identity, Ganyagahaga identity, everyone's true identity, to rise up, to push back against the corruption of band system, and to assert our own identity. You are in the prime, the perfect place in which to do this, in which to get your power back.
Et dans le fond, ce qu'il faut faire, c'est de reprendre ton identité, reprendre l'identité gagnante, toutes les identités dans le fond, et dans le fond, faire valoir ces valeurs-là à grandeur.
So the thing is here, like we said, to have as many people on the ground rotating,
Donc, c'est d'avoir le plus de gens possible qui rotationnent au blocus
you must have a rotation.
pour avoir une rotation.
It can't be just the same amount, just the same people there all the time. It can't be. They will break them down.
Ça peut pas être toujours le même nombre de personnes tout le temps parce qu'ils vont briser ça.
So you have to have a rotation. It's like, imagine if the people are actually getting physically punched in the face. If that person is there all the time, well, they can only take so many punches. But if you switch them around, hey, everybody can take a punch, and we can last through this final phase of genocide.
Parce que dans le fond, si c'est toujours les mêmes gens, exemple, si tu as quelqu'un qui te frappe à la figure tout le temps, à un moment donné, tu es capable d'en prendre un certain montant. Fait que s'il y a des gens qui rotationnent, ben là, chaque personne est capable de prendre une coupe de punch, puis il dure plus longtemps pour résister justement jusqu'à la fin.
Right now, we have a few people from across the country that are with us and that are following us, that we can spread this across the country as much as possible for people to know that it's the original people's turn. It's our time. It's the traditional council's time now to stand up and bring our true identity back into power.
Et on connaît des gens à travers, dans le fond, on connaît des gens un peu partout qui peuvent propager le message qu'on reprend, on est dans notre vraie identité, c'est nous les conseils traditionnels et qu'on arrête le génocide.
So I suggest this one last thing,
Je suggère cette dernière chose,
that at your fire,
dans ton feu,
that you have all the people there ask for the return of Otsimo.
et que tu demandes à tous les gens là, à ce feu-là, le retour de Otsimo.
And this, the people calling that back together will cancel out what the sellouts in the ban system are trying to do to undermine you.
Et dans le fond, le fait que les gens demandent ça ensemble, ça va canceller ce que les vendus du système de bande ont fait pour par en dessous de la table.
This will bide a little bit of time.
Ça va vous acheter un petit peu de temps.
It might get you right now, maybe about 2 weeks' time extended.
Ça va peut-être vous donner à peu près une extension de 2 semaines environ.
And that's all we need is 2 weeks' time in order for this to spill over into other nations across the country.
C'est tout ce qu'on a besoin pour, dans le fond, faire connaître l'information à travers toutes les communautés du pays.
So I am depending on you. The entire country is depending on you. All of our people are depending on you to stand true in Innu identity, to call Otsimo.
Et je dépends de vous et toutes les communautés autochtones du pays dépendent de vous pour vous tenir et justement dans votre identité Innu et appeler Otsimo.
If you are the ones that do this, this will lead the way for others to follow.
Si vous êtes ceux qui font ça, ça va dans le fond ouvrir la voie pour d'autres.
So truly at this time, it's not time to focus on individual. I know you're not doing this, but it's not time even to focus just on Innu. It's time to focus on what our mother would say on behalf of all of us.
Et je sais que tu ne dois pas faire ça, mais ce n'est pas le temps présentement de focuser sur l'individuel, l'individu, ou même juste la nation Innu. Il faut penser global pour notre mère qui, qu'est-ce qu'elle voudrait dans le fond.
I know we acknowledge together
Je sais qu'on reconnaît ensemble
that we are in a different phase of our evolution, our
On est dans-
collective evolution together.
qu'on est dans une phase différente d'évolution, une évolution collective ensemble.
And it is a whirlwind.
Et c'est comme une genre de tornade.
The only thing that's going to pull us through is hanging tight to our original identity, to our traditional councils, to our law.
Et la seule chose qui va nous maintenir, dans le fond, c'est de se tenir fort à notre identité originelle, nos conseils traditionnels.
So what I see is I see the Innu making that statement.
Et ce que je vois, c'est je vois les Inuits faire cette déclaration-là.
That this is what we stand as. Nothing else is to be misinterpreted. Nothing else is to be read into this. That is not a political action we are taking. It is an action of healing our Mother Earth that no one on earth has the power or authority to stop.
Et que dans le fond, c'est pas une action politique, c'est une action commune pour la Terre-Mère, pour guérir la Terre-Mère et dans le fond, faire ce qu'il faut.
And we stand with you.
Et on se tient avec vous.
We'll spread this word everywhere as much as possible to whoever we can.
On va envoyer cette information-là à tous ceux qu'on peut.
We had a fly on our camera. We had a fly in the soup.
On avait une mouche sur la caméra.
We're
OK,
listening to our
OK.
conversation.
Ben, moi, je veux juste rajouter une dernière chose que on ne va rien accepter d'eux autres, comme vous dites.
He says the last thing that they won't accept anything from them, like you said.
Perfect. Okay, we're gonna do something here. As soon as we're out of our ceremony, we're gonna do something in support of what you're doing.
Et donc, on va faire quelque chose, aussitôt qu'on est sorti de la cérémonie, on va faire quelque chose.
And to do that, we have to put out a complete statement.
Et pour faire ça, on doit, dans le fond, émettre une déclaration.
So before we do that, we're gonna send our statement to you for you to look over to see if everything's proper, you know, if you agree with it.
OK. Avant de faire ça, on va vous l'envoyer pour que vous puissiez la réviser et voir si tout est bien complet dedans.
Now, we all have to understand that we are working from Innu, Kanyagahaga, Dene, Nishnabé, Cree. We're working from that. We're not working from the sellout identities that our people have become.
On doit bien comprendre qu'on travaille à partir de Innu, Ganyangahaga, Anishinaabe, et dans le fond, et non à partir des vendus des conseils de bande.
This is a new time.
C'est
It's our time.
une nouvelle ère, c'est notre temps,
This is our power now.
c'est notre pouvoir maintenant.
We're going to stand under our power, under our mother's authority, and we're going to show the white man just what is really happening here.
On va se tenir pour l'autorité de notre mère et on va leur montrer de quelles bonnes choses.
So you stand strong, Innu. Ganyagahaga will stand strong, supporting Innu. We'll stand strong, supporting Nishnabé, supporting each other. We know that we are supporting each other's identity. This is what our mother wants, for us to return back to our true identity.
On va supporter les Inuits, on va supporter les Anishinaabe, on va tous se supporter entre nous et c'est ce que notre mère veut qu'on supporte, qu'on montre dans le fond, qu'on se tient pour la défendre.
And we will do it.
Et on va le faire.
This is not an option. We will do it.
Pas une option, on va le faire.
So if there's any closing statements you want to make, anything, like if there's any dates that you know of scheduled for anything, let us know about this, or any final statement you want to make right now.
Si tu veux faire une conclusion finale, ajouter quelque chose, des dates, un horaire quelconque que tu seras au courant, vas-y.
Non, moi, je vais juste attendre ce que vous allez dire, puis je vais vous attendre impatiemment à votre prochaine conférence.
Okay, so I will wait for the statement that you said, that what you will say, I will wait impatiently.
Okay, just in case, I don't know if you have ever heard of the woman by the name of Elise Voies. She stays in Pessin.
Juste pour savoir, est-ce que tu as déjà entendu parler d'Élise Volant? Elle reste.
Is
Oui,
it
c'est une amie.
Pessin?
Ma femme est amie avec.
His wife is friends with her.
Okay, I suggest that you talk with Elise Voies, inquire about who we are, and this way you will understand who you're dealing with, and maybe you're going to end up saying, no, I don't want to work with you.
Okay.
It's best if you inquire with her. She'll inform you as to who we are.
OK. Il suggère de lui demander à Élise, dans le fond, de voir avec elle, poser des questions à savoir qui nous sommes, le Conseil traditionnel Ganyangahaga, pour que tu puisses savoir, peut-être que tu vas avoir la conclusion que non, tu ne veux pas travailler avec nous, mais dans le fond, en faisant ce travail-là, au moins, tu vas savoir avec qui tu fais affaire.
OK, oui.
Okay, so tomorrow morning when we continue our ceremony, your story, everything that is happening with you, to you on the ground there, this is in our ceremony tomorrow morning.
Et demain matin, quand on va faire notre cérémonie, tout ce que tu dis, tout ce qu'on a parlé, ça va être avec nous dans cette cérémonie-là.
Okay, all right. Before we do go, let's just give it a minute. Let's give it a second here to think if everything is said right now.
Et juste avant qu'on quitte, on va se donner une minute pour être certain qu'on a tout dit.
Okay, we were there and there was a protest in Sept-Îles. I think it was in February.
On était là à cette île et il y avait dans le fond, une manifestation C'est ça.
and the SQ.
Et la SQ,
They were, of course, they were watching everything that we were doing.
ils regardaient tout ce qu'on faisait, évidemment.
But there was, let's see, this had to have been, I don't know, it was within the last 10 years. But
Dans les derniers 10 ans.
there was detectable at that time that, yes, they are the genociders, they're to genocide, but there was also this, almost like this barrier deflecting or pushing back their actions.
Et on sait que tous, dans le fond, sont là pour génocider, appliquer et imposer, mais on sentait qu'il y avait comme, on dirait une barrière qui empêchait.
Just for you to know right now that they will present with the threat of violence.
Et juste pour que vous sachiez, ils vont présenter des menaces de violence.
I know, of course, you are aware that this is something that you will be confronted with.
Je sais que vous savez que vous allez être confrontés à ça.
There is something else going on in the minds of these people who fill the role of the genociders, of the police.
Il y a quelque chose d'autre, dans le fond, à savoir à propos du rôle là, dans l'attaque de police.
This is where like the first white men who stepped foot here, they were following orders, but they were scared. They were very scared.
C'est un peu comme les premiers blancs quand ils sont arrivés ici. Ils suivaient des ordres, mais ils avaient très peur.
And of course, after killing a few of us, well, they got over their fear.
Et ben, c'est sûr qu'après avoir tué une couple de nous autres, ben là, ils ont comme passé par-dessus leur peur.
But this now is like the rubber band effect, where that is stretched out as far as it can go, and now it's snapping back on them, which puts a different state of psychology in their mind.
Et là, c'est comme un peu, tu sais, étirer l'élastique jusqu'au bout, jusqu'à temps qu'ils leur pètent d'en face. Puis là, ben, ils commencent à voir. Là.
So you just being there is psychology upon them.
Juste être là, c'est de la psychologie pour eux, contre eux, dans le fond.
But you've got to use more psychology on them.
Mais tu dois utiliser un petit peu plus de psychologie sur eux.
If and when they come or whatever, if you see them there, you got to keep in mind, you use psychology on them, which means whatever they are doing, you do the exact opposite to them. They're coming here and they're punching your face, you tell them how much you love them.
Et c'est pour vous dire que si et quand ils viennent faire ce qu'ils ont à faire, faites complètement le contraire. Donc, si ils donnent un coup d'en face, tu leur dis à combien tu les aimes.
If there is cops or somebody there,
S'il y a la police ou quelqu'un là,
buy them Tim Hortons coffee,
achetez-leur des cafés Tim Hortons.
offer them donuts,
Offrez-leur des beignes.
even have some of the women make them fry bread.
Même, faites en sorte que même certaines femmes leur fassent du pain frit.
When they go on the line to aggress against you, they expect you to do something that complements their action.
Dans le fond, quand ils s'en vont là pour vous agresser, ils s'attendent à ce que vous fassiez quelque chose dans le même genre.
We're not going to make that mistake again.
On va pas faire cette erreur-là une autre fois.
If we make that same mistake of butting head to head with them in under their rules, then all we do is prolong our pain and suffering. We must confront it now. This war is coming to an end now. It's coming to a head. We must play it in such a way that it hastens it.
Parce que si on veut œil pour œil, dent pour dent avec eux, dans le fond, on répète la même erreur, puis l'idée, c'est d'arrêter ce cycle-là.
We must bring this war down right now to us. It's us that must fight it. We must not allow it to be pushed to the next generation because our children will not know what to do.
On doit arrêter cette guerre-là maintenant parce que c'est nous qui savons quoi faire pour ça. Parce que si on ne le fait pas maintenant, c'est nos enfants qui vont être pris là-dedans et ils ne sauront pas quoi faire.
So all of our minds got to be in the reality of this is our end game.
Et toutes dans le fond, nos pensées doivent être dans cette réalité que c'est la fin du jeu.
And this is our house.
C'est notre maison.
We don't lose in our house.
On ne perd pas dans notre maison.
So everything that they expect, we don't do it. We do the opposite.
Donc, tout ce qui s'attend à, on le fait pas, on fait l'opposé.
We be who we were when they first came here.
on est ce qu'on était quand ils sont arrivés au début.
Our actions today won't be tainted by the warring mentality they have shown us.
Et dans le fond, nos actions d'aujourd'hui ne seront pas teintées avec la mentalité de guerre qu'ils nous ont enseigné, qu'ils nous ont empoisonné avec depuis.
And this is why we say, in your fire tomorrow morning, call right away, everybody, call on Otsimo.
C'est pour ça que je te dis dans ton feu, dans le cérémonial demain matin, appelle à tout le monde, appelle Otimo.
Okay, very good. As soon as we're done this thing, like I said, we're gonna jump right onto this. We're gonna inform you when this other Zoom is happening with the people of the South.
Et dans le fond, comme je disais, aussitôt qu'on sort du récit, on va vous informer aussi du Zoom pour la reconstitution avec les gens du Sud.
So, Nyawagoa, for bringing all this information.
Merci beaucoup d'avoir apporté toute cette information.
What was your name again? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yann.
Yan?
Yeah.
Yan. Yannick?
Yann.
Yan.
Yann Dominique.
Yann Dominique.
Yan Dominic. Okay, Tamish Kamatan.
C'est moi qui te remercie.
It's me, thank you.
Nyawagoa. Okay, so as we see that everything that we have been discussing in the Great Law Recital is actually, it's like if you went to school to learn something, well, you know that while you're in school, you maybe go take a stage or you go work in a company or whatever. This is like what's happening right now. We're getting our theory tested in real life, real time. So, yeah, this is, it's really good news. It's really good news. Couldn't get better news than this, knowing what we were talking about, also about what's happening with the turtles, the shift in evolution that is happening right now. You can see it in this man, in what they're presenting as evolution that's going on. The people are being pushed to a point of having to evolve out of the corruption that they're stuck in. So this is a very good thing. Of course, all of us should be pushing ourselves to that all the time. Okay, let's see. Was there somebody else that we were expecting tonight, Edith?
There was the letter from
The letter.
The
Okay.
letter, I think that's the other thing.
Okay, let's get that out of the way. A letter. What's the letter?
You want me to share it?
Is it A? B? Yeah, share the letter.
All of them.
Okay, so anyways, as you know, that a couple of years ago, we identified that the two-row wampum was in the wrong place. It was what warlords, it was made with men hundreds of years ago, white men, who were a bunch of liars. You couldn't trust their word for nothing, but we didn't know that. We made an agreement with them. That's the two-row wampum. And so we identified that, well, making agreements with the white man about peace, that's impossible. You get nowhere. You can't do that. That's a trick. The moment you make an agreement with the white man about peace, you're in a trap. And so we come to realize this finally and identify that the two-row wampum is sitting in the wrong place. Who we made it with, Britain, or even any of their governments, whatever, that's not the true representation of the people of Europe. No, the true representation of any people anywhere is the women, the mothers. And so we identified that the two-row wampum being in the wrong place, that we had to put it in the true representation of the non-native people, of the women. And so in 2017, the Women's Nation was, 2019. In 2019, the Women's Nation was constituted, brought into the world, like officially, to represent the two-row wampum, to gather the minds and voices of the non-native women, native women around the world, and to have their voices represented in truth of our Mother Earth, to represent the love of our Mother Earth, to represent the true representations of people, to have the true words, agreements, commitments being made honored, respected. So the Women's Nation was constituted for this, and as the Women's Nation began to find itself, to discover its own powers, then the Women's Nation has been taking action on a lot of things, taking positions such as, like some of you may have seen, like the apostasy, which is to remove themselves from underneath the bureaucracy of religions. Now, some people might not have even think that, hey, that's something to do. They don't even know that that's something that you have to do, because if you don't, you are actually under the bureaucracy of religion, that you are a commodity within that religion being utilized by them. So anyways, Women's Nation took action, apostasy, and now this goes a little bit further to government apostasy, that type of thing. So yeah, this is the document. I'm not gonna read it off. Which one of yous are gonna do it? Who's gonna do that?
I can read it.
Okay, so
We, the Life Givers Nation, constituted under the Great Law of Peace through the two-row Wampum Peace Treaty, state that we are direct descendants of our Mother Earth, our grandmother Moon and Star Women, and therefore we stand to protect their legacy that is ours. Every child, every animal, every alive being is our responsibility to care and give love to. We have seen long enough our daughters and sons suffer from the multi-generational trauma that genocide has inflicted upon the original people of the land, and declare that every so-called government of this hemisphere is completely illegal, since they are not upholding the original law of the land. These illegal institutions, through their bureaucratic democracy protecting capitalism, have created divisions to create false perceptions of hierarchies, when it is our mothers the sole authority. These fake hierarchical statuses that are only 1% believe that they can possess our children and the land, and therefore exploit them, commodify them, abuse them, provoking a spatial, physical, spiritual displacement. The law of the land tells us that the mothers are the authority and the men only represent under the authority of the life givers. This law tells us that we, the life givers, are the ones that educate the children, that their hearts and their minds are delicate spirits that need to be taken care of by the loving hands and minds of the mothers of the nations, those that rise to their responsibilities of giving life through each action in the garden, in the kitchen, in council, in their families, in their clans, in their nation, and for the whatever's. This law tells us that the men have to rise to their responsibilities of life protectors to take care of the legacy that the mother perpetuates since the beginning of time. Any crime committed towards any child or the life givers themselves is an enemy to life, and as therefore to correct their behavior or to face the consequences of their actions. Any rape, any violence, any murder towards Sky Women legacy will be stopped. Law applies whether the criminal wants to accept it or not. Our Mother Earth and our Grandmother Moon are in emergency mode to protect their legacy. Any action designed to hurt them, such as to extract helium or lithium, or to use our mother's veins, the rivers, to extract hydrogen so it is used as fuel to go to space to export the genocidal colonization process, is illegal, and dire consequences will be faced by those that persist in their destructive, suicidal mentality. We also acknowledge that many can be trapped by this war mentality due to a genocide that has been inflicted upon them, and that rise from being the oppressed to be the oppressor. For all those that could be in this place and time, there is a way to stop going further in this path of pain and suffering and go back and to go back to our original identity of daughters and of our mothers, son of our mothers. Even if our own mother could not give us the love we would have wanted to, it is only because she herself was stripped from her love. We go back to love, we give with love, we act with love, we are love. Together, we relearn love. We do it for all of the generations rising and living to be the ancestors that they would expect us to be. It's gonna go well.
Okay, this document identifies a corruption, an imbalance between the women and men. It identifies the corruption and an imbalance between the original peoples here and the non-native peoples that come from around the world. Okay, these two things are identified, or not identified, it's alluded to. So it needs to be more precise. The what's alluded to of this imbalance between the women and the men, it's gotta be more perfectly identified, more defined. That would take obviously a series of discussions, to get to if the first time, let's say you're showing symptoms of something, but you don't know what it is, so you're ill. So the first time that we're going through that, we gotta discover what these symptoms are identifying. So we gotta say that thing that these symptoms are alluding to. So this thing everything that's said there about the women and the men, that alludes to that imbalance. So it's gotta be said now, identified what it is. So I don't know if I'm making sense on this. Perhaps it might need to be read over a couple of times, but I'm sure you just intended to read it here, to present it for the first time, like to go over. I know that you can't be thinking that, okay, this is going out first thing in the morning.
No.
So discussion back and forth on this. It's perfect to release this in the middle of the law recital. This is perfect because the minds are thinking on these legal levels. Don't know when yous will be able to, don't know when we'll be able to, but anybody should be looking at this document. It's shared there, right? That anybody can see it?
We shared it to the nation.
Okay, but here on the Zoom, well, people can see it as they're scrolling down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody has an idea on this, if you know what I'm talking about and what I'm identifying, if you see the same thing, then anybody can attempt to try to label this thing. It's a disease, it's an illness. Let's put a proper name on it. Let's identify it. So anybody try to come up with any kind of reference to it, but it has to be something that is clearly identifying this rift. Just like what they did identifying generation gap. Okay, there is nothing identifying that rift between the women and the men. There's nothing referred to like generation gap, except there's things that can be said that allude to it. When you say male dominance, women, well, it alludes to it, but it doesn't identify the thing. It doesn't name it. Like if we got bit by a big monster or whatever, well, we got to name that monster so that we can associate to that, so that we can defend ourselves, or even in the medicines that we would take. You got to identify that thing that bit you to know the medicine. So this is what we got to do here. We got to identify this thing. What is this thing that exists between the women and the men? It's a wedge. It's visible and invisible at the same time. It is undeniable that it's there, but I don't think that it has ever been labeled or identified. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody in history that has addressed it, labeled it. I don't know, but this is what we got to do, and it's got to be incorporated into this document so that there's nothing left to interpretation. You don't want anyone this is intended for them to be saying, well, what does this mean? No, you gotta put forward precisely what it means, not left to interpretation to anyone. Yeah. Okay, as far as this letter goes, then, did anybody have anything else on that, like to,
We didn't finish the deliberation
Mm.
for now, so.
well, this is a hell of a beginning of a conversation. Most, this I can say to you then, you have been learning law. Because what you would have done was maybe just come out and say, hey, there's something here, we gotta talk about something. Instead, what you did do is you came with a package. Instead of people, it's basically people saying they come to council, they pose with a question and they say, oh, well, we gotta go back and talk with our people before we can give any position on that. Really? Is that really what you gotta do? Aren't you? If you're a head, if you're a chief, if you're a clan mother and you know law and you're representing the people and you're in like an urgent situation, do you have time to go back and counsel, or are you actually qualified? Are you eligible to hold that position? And if you are qualified and you're there, then you're there to make decisions, not to make decisions over the people based on what you think, but that person is constantly supposed to be reading the minds of the people, gathering the minds of the people. And so when that person presents, if they ever present anything that is solely from representing themselves, well, that person will never be in that position again. So anyways, this is an advancement that's happening in the women's nation. Yous are learning law, yous are applying it. It's happening fast. Because I seen other documents, I seen other things that you have done. This is happening fast. It's a fast change that I'm seeing. So very good thing. Okay, I don't know. Was there anything else we got to discuss? This again, this isn't a regular Wednesday Zoom. This is really just for the law recital, and if anybody had anything to talk about there, if not, well. We're not gonna spend any more time here. If there's nothing that anybody's got on that level of law recital. So,
I can know anything.
okay then, we're gonna close up. Yeah, we'll go, everybody. This is really exciting. This is precisely the thing that you would expect in the middle of everything that we are experiencing right now, and the stuff that we know from the conversations that we're having, talking about law and everything that's been incorporated in that with creation story, all of this, and then to think of the things that we're aware of that's happening around the world right now with the waters, the change in the water. The water is breaking. The water is breaking. And we see an evolution level event happening. We're starting to see the first physical examples of it. This is what happened with the turtles. The turtles, as you know, we immediately associated it to that solar flare as soon as we heard about it. And then we hear that the solar flare affects this resonance thing, which I'm not going to go get into everything of that right now. But if you were in the conversation with us earlier today, then your mind is there with us right now to understand what we're talking about with this resonance thing, how it connects to the turtles and evolution, this evolution level event that's taking place. And then there's also this other thing. I don't know. Can we share that thing?
Mhm.
No, we don't really know about the validity of this, or we don't really know anything about this other than the picture that we're going to share with you. What's that? That picture. Okay, I can't see what it says. Can you read the little caption there on the top?
Yeah. It says, in Brazil, an invasion of crocodile that have flooded one of the beaches with several hundred, even thousands, and the local population is panicking. Are the animals worried about something? A volcano or an earthquake is preparing?
Okay, you see the way those crocodiles, it looks like they're all looking at something. They're like they're looking out towards the water. See that?
Yeah.
But no, I don't know myself. I'm not a crocodileologist, you know. I don't know if this is what they do, but it kind of looks like it's not something that they do normally, because if it is, we probably would have seen images like this a long time ago. Maybe we did see them a long time ago when there was Brazilian. Well, myself, I don't know. In my lifetime, but big deal. I don't know everything. I don't see everything. But in my lifetime, I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't recalled anything like this. You know, it's kind of suspicious on the levels of that they are sensing something, feeling something. What's going on? Is the water too warm? Well, no. Look at, there's some that are still in the water. So what's happening there? Is this a spawning thing? You know, is it spawning season? Maybe it's the first time humans have ever got a glimpse of this because there's drones. You know, maybe without a drone, maybe this was always happening, but you couldn't see it. By the time humans get there, they're alerted to humans and they all just scatter. You didn't see us. Or is this something? Now here we don't know. This was sent to us, sent to me by Elise Trudell. I don't know where she got it. She didn't put any kind of whatever, but it's something that she found, obviously herself, and she thought that it was coincidental, aligning with what we said about the turtles. So if this is, say, some kind of unnatural event that doesn't happen all the time, but it's happening to them right now, then it's funny it's happening to them right now at the same time that this is happening to turtles. But you know what? You know what we got to do? We got to examine the parallel, not the parallel, the latitude. Which one goes up and down, north and south? The parallel or the latitude?
The parallel.
The parallel?
Mhm.
We got to find the parallel that runs through this river and that goes into Texas. And we'll see if it's within the same line of the magnetic field. If it is, then we're not looking at any coincidence. We're looking at something that we can put our finger on here.
They say that it's, you know what? It's parallel.
Up and down.
Latitude is north to south, parallel is what? Long.
Okay, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter because we got three different opinions here. But the lines that go north and south, that's the one that we gotta look for as to which line passes through where this river is. And does it pass through Texas where these turtles were washing up? That's what we gotta do the investigation on. And that's when we'll be able to properly assess this video in particular.
We don't have the place exact. So
Well, that's it then. If, say for Lise who sent this to us, I don't think she'd be able to track down that exact place either. But maybe somebody, who knows if this is even right now? Maybe this is from 10 years. Well, no, that's a drone, so it can't be from that long ago. This has to be kind of recent. I mean, if you're thinking of if it was staged, you know, since it's a drone, maybe the oldest this might be would be 10 years at the most. You know,
it was posted today.
yeah, posted today, but just to say, anyways, if we can find the location of this, or let's just look at Brazil. What does it say? Somebody
You want me to look on Google Earth?
who can
Maybe
do
to
that.
look, to see the.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's do that. But Brazil is a big place too. I mean, to see if that parallel lines up with Texas. Well, let's take a look. At least we'll
I don't know if we will see them.
have a general idea.
Mm.
Are you sharing it?
No, I'm just finding Brazil first. Then I'm gonna share. That's Brazil.
Brazil. Where? The one in the middle?
Just showing it. Showing it. It's not here. I'll go someplace else.
Is Brazil landlocked?
Because it's so big, it was showing like the state
Mm.
lines.
Oh.
You can see.
No,
Okay,
if it's in French, I can't see. I can't see
it's
it.
here. It's all here. Brazil.
No, I can't see that. It's in French.
So.
Okay,
that's the
so that's more out into the ocean.
Mm.
Within that, but who knows with the curvature of the earth, what we're looking at right now,
Mm.
we can't really tell. We'd have to look at the lines to know.
Mm.
Anyways, further investigation. We're not gonna waste time here trying to do that now because we're gonna get out of here. Okay, so Ayokki at again ha yati sot gun ha nero no the headstone gonna go rio that you have way dam dawe or on headstone does that stasser and a to bring back the true spirit of the women of our mothers, not the spirit that you want, not the power or what you think, but the true mother. What has to rise back up out of the earth to take control once again of managing the people. That spirit, the mother spirit in all of our nations. We ask for this true spirit to be brought back and for our ancestors to show us how to return our mothers back to that natural seat of authority. It cannot be something just that we say, return, return, return. Oh yeah? How? How do you do that? How does it happen? It's got to be something that we do, that we arrive at the conclusion of identifying the problem, the trauma, understand it completely, and then by understanding the problem and the trauma, then we can devise or identify what the solution is. Because once you identify the problem, well, this is the problem. You're punching my face. Okay, well then the solution is for you to stop punching my face. So then I have to devise the method of how I get you to do that, because it's obviously not just me saying, please stop punching my face. Well, the white man doesn't respond to common sense or logic. So we have to devise the methodology of how that we are going to do this. We are not going to expect the white man or the non-native people to correct the things that they have done wrong, the things that they have destroyed. You can't expect this of them. They have done it. That means they are of a mindset, not understanding. They are of a corrupted mind. So you can't expect the corrupted mind to correct because they can't comprehend that they are corrupt. So correction will not come from them. But if we are cunning in our application of law, then we don't leave it up to the white man to decide or whatever. What we do is we present an ultimatum. And this is what we must do in all of our nations, all of our people, all women everywhere must present ultimatum to all men. Women must present ultimatum, just like what you see what the Women's Nation has presented here tonight. That's an ultimatum to men. That's an ultimatum to so-called governmental systems of this world that are, in fact, male dominance. Doesn't matter how many ridiculous women you get participating, voting in that system. Women are crazy to vote in the male system. because you're telling your rapist to rape you. You're no longer being raped. You're raping yourself. And so this is the reality of the psychology that we have to apply today. We have to pull our heads out of our own darkness, and we have to pull the white man's heads out of his darkness. And at the same time, we got to balance the entire waterverse and put everything back together the way that it's supposed to be. This isn't much of a job. It's not that big of a job to handle. Guyana makes it all so clear and identifies to you specifically what your individual job is. And when each of us adhere to our individual job, then the collective job will happen just like that. What seems impossible to us right now is completely, entirely dependent solely upon you. The collective will never accomplish healing our Mother Earth unless you get yourself into that mindset. You are the one, not anyone else. Everything on this earth is your responsibility. It's your fault. From this point, if you do not fix it, guaranteed, from this day forward, you will view it as it being your fault, because you are given the not the ultimatum here, but you are shown the truth of that this lies, the healing of our Mother Earth lies solely upon you. We are in emergency. Emergency healing of our Mother Earth is now, not tomorrow. It's actually yesterday. Today is you're going to her funeral. So we got to act so fast that we're going to move back in time to correct the actions of the mistake that we made somewhere back in time. This is what's going on right now. On the body of our Mother Earth, those of you who know the teachings of the DNA, you see the DNA coming back to where the original break happened. And then when you hear that there is planned mining along that fault line, that is only a confirmation to what we have identified, what that fault line actually is. And so they're going there to attempt to kill the part of us that's trying to get back to us from their corruption. This is all a lot to understand. It's a lot of inversions. Every turn that you take, everything that you look at, it's inversion upon inversion. This is not it's going to be extremely hard for all of you, for everyone. There was a time where it could have just been an easy transition, but easy transition time is long since gone. And so now we're here in emergency, and this means all of us must rise to emergency. We're not here to fool around. We're here to get a job done. No matter what you think your role is in this world, or no matter how other people look at you in this world, you got a job to do that must get done. And it can only get done by you being 100% in your role and everyone else being 100% in their role. So everybody, you're used to being individuals. So get to work being individuals, returning back to collective. Get to work, because you ain't got long to do this. You don't have time. You ain't got no time at all in which to accomplish this. You got to dream it up now. Okay, so don't get taken on the whole day. Air to saw it, air to saw it, air to saw it. Kenya has ways in Egypt.